afternoon. Yeah, I thought you knew. Harris is drinking, and yes, I'm thinking, and I'm plotting and scheming.
Yo, back up in the building for another edition of the Harry's Drinking Again podcast. I'm your host, Harry Too Scary, aka Mr. Harris. A little bit of a late start. I'll be honest. I was contemplating even doing a show tonight. The consistency almost took a hit, but I have to come through just for a little bit. And give it something. I really I've been struggling lately with content creation and stuff like that. I want to take the channel into a new direction somewhat, and I want to break that down a little bit. I'm going to play a couple of YouTube videos explaining what stock footage is and kind of share my ideas going forward. It's been an interesting week. We're not going to get into it, but it's been a long week. But I'm still here. I was contemplating. I said, man, you know what? Just hit the button. All right. So episode 113. 113 weeks. You know, I've been doing this, and thank you to everybody who has subscribed and chimed in and, you know, even given 1 ounce of your energy. And the last few weeks, I've been hitting this wall, you know, within myself, and I want to do things, you know, different. The first year was in the apartment, and you know, I was putting together the background the way I wanted it and everything, and you know, I was able to make some changes, some improvements. Year 2, we got the green screen, got the sound, you know, a little better, the visuals. Now it's like in between the year 2, year 3, where it's like I'm getting antsy. I already came through my goal to do 104 shows in a row, 2 years straight. And now I just feel like it's time to switch it up. And I want to challenge myself and to actually put out more videos, because I was making clips and I was doing a lot of things in the background. Yeah, and I missed that. And I want to build my platform up in a different way. You know, the lives, still going to do the lives here and there, but yeah, so that was my therapy. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to take my time. Bear with me. I got a shooter in my pocket. I think I'm going to get a little sip on this. Nothing crazy. I did already do an hour and a half pre-recorded podcast this afternoon that I'm holding down the line. So it's not, you know, I want to maintain my consistency, even though I wasn't feeling it. You know, I want the people to know, man. Hey, when life, you know, throws you lemons, you make lemonade. And I can't get this damn cap open. There we go. New Amsterdam, just a little sipper. Just a little sipper. So I thought, I know I'm putting in the work on a Thursday night, but if the viewers don't see a TNR, they're going to think I fell off, you know, and that's definitely not the case. But the way my brain works, you know, I like change, I like variety. I get stagnant, you know, fast, and I've been yearning to do more than what I've already done. So that's where we're at in this process, you know, building a brand. Harris is Drinking Again, the Haida Pub, and where do we go from here? had the publicist. We had a couple of the actors, Tommy Chong, Gianni Russo. We did that interview thing. We might come back to that down the line. The lives have been great. Had a fun time. Now it's time to venture out and try something new with content creation. So let me go ahead and none of these videos are in order. This is going to take actually more discipline on my part, what I want to do as far as research, storylines, things of this nature. And I'm up for that challenge. I think that's what I need, I don't know. I'm getting bored of the lives, and then trying to depend on people to come on, and then they don't want to come on, and then I sit here and I'm having a great time, but we're reaching a turning point. Okay, I just want to let people know, and that's what it is. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna play some other YouTubers' videos. So hopefully, I'm gonna put on a 1.5 speed and talk over it a little bit, so I don't get in trouble by the YouTube police or whatever. But so yeah, man, we're yearning for new content here and trying to challenge ourselves here. So let's share this screen. I got one video pulled up now. If you're not familiar with stock footage is you're gonna hear in a minute, but a bunch of already pre-shot high quality pictures, videos that you can use to make YouTube videos, tutorials, documentaries, all sorts of stuff. Okay, and a lot of content creators are using this method to create, and I got some ideas of my own that I want to implement. Rather than always sitting here, speaking it live, which is great, I want to take some of my own personal stories and create an art piece with them somewhat, and tell different stories, whether they're fictional, nonfiction. So I'm going to play maybe a few minutes of this video, jump around a little bit here and there, but let's check this out real quick.
Once a week. So to create quality content every single week, you have to research, you have to film and edit, and then upload the content. And it's difficult to do that without letting it take up all of your time. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to create content with stock footage. So this is the best way to create a channel without filming videos. So what is stock footage? So stock footage is usually small clips that are usually about 20 to 30 seconds long. And these are clips on anything. So it could be a random yoga clip or an office clip. It could be traveling, could be business. And these clips are compiled together to tell a story. So once they're all compiled together, the video is usually about 5 to 10 minutes long. And there's entire channels on YouTube with millions of subscribers that only use stock footage to create their content. And I'll show you some examples of these channels and how you can also create these types of content within just a few minutes. So in today's video, you're going to learn the pros and cons of using free and paid stock footage. Then I'll show you how to rewrite scripts with AI software. So to create a good quality video, you do need a good script. But you don't need to write the script yourself. You can actually use an AI software that will write the script for you. So I've made a detailed video on this software before, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But I'll go through the basics of it in today's video. Then you're going to learn how to create the video using a content creator, a new content creator that I've been using. And then I will also add some commentary to the content towards the end of the video. So before we get started with the video, I do have some exciting. So let's pick last week's winner. Button, comment down below, and subscribe.
What if I told you that you can use motion array to improve your videos fast? For example,
Any upgrades that cost $0. So most of their content is about finance, so it could be about self-help and things like that. So they've actually got some compiled together, and they also add some commentary and some background music. So with all of these clips, they just tell stories. So this one is about 15 tiny upgrades that cost $0. So most of their content is about finance, so it could be about self-help and things like that. So they've actually got some really good content, and you can see they've got a huge fan base as well. They've got 3.57 million subscribers, and in total, they have 421 million views. So that's really good numbers right there. So this is a good example. So this is a type of content that we can create. So what are the pros and cons of using free stock footage? So there's some great websites to find free stock footage like pixels.com.
First of all, I'm not going down that free route. I'm going to pay one of these premium memberships, Story Blocks or something like that, get some real, quality footage. I have no problem paying a membership. So fuck that free shit.
Pixabay.com, videasy.com, and I'll leave a link to all of these websites in the description below. So it's really easy to come here and just hit download, and you have a bunch of different clips to make a YouTube video. But you are limited to just a few videos. So these guys don't have enough videos in their stock. So you are limited, and you're also limited to the quality. So you can't download high definition videos from these websites.
That's what I'm talking about. That free shit don't work. You got to pay to play, baby.
So if you want to download high definition, then you have to pay for them. So some of these websites do offer good quality high definition videos, but most of them don't offer high definition videos. So those are the pros and cons of using free stock footage. So if you're a beginner, I recommend you start with just free stock footage. And once you at a time where I couldn't find the type of video that I'm looking for per month. So the pros is that you have the highest quality videos, and also there's a ton of videos on this website. So I've almost never had a time where I couldn't find the type of video that I'm looking for. But the con is that you have to pay $360 per year, which is quite expensive. So in today's video, I'm going to use storyblocks.com because I've already got an account, but you don't need to make an account here. You can just use websites like pixels.com or pixabay.com and things like that. So when you're creating a video, you should always start with the script. So to write a script, we're going to use this AI software right here called quillbot.com. So I'll leave a link to this website in the description below. So let's say you have a topic to make a video on. So the type of video that I want to make is how to be productive. So this is a video from alux.com called 15 habits to avoid to become highly productive. So I'm just going to go into Google and just search up highly productive or how to be highly productive. So here's one. So 25 habits of highly productive people. So that's a good article. Sounds like a good article. So I'm going to click on that. So usually I go through a lot of articles, but just to make this video quick, I'm just going to go through this one article right here. So all you need to do is just copy this, and we're not going to simply copy and paste the exact script from this website because you're not allowed to do that. You can get a copyright strike. So you have to rewrite the script. And I recommend using multiple articles, not just one article. But in today's example, just to keep this video quick, I'm just going to use this one.
That's one way to do it. One of my ideas is original stories or personal stories, and go from there. I want to be 100% authentic and come up with some real things. That I'm going to do.
An article. So we're going to rewrite this entire article into a YouTube video script. So let's go to quillbot.com, and I'm simply going to paste the first paragraph in. So it says, have you ever wondered how they do it? The entrepreneurs, CEOs, athletes, rock stars, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm just going to click on paraphrase right here. So it's going to go through this script right here, and it's going to rewrite it right here. So you can see these orange letters are rewritten. So did you ever ask how they did this? Businessmen, CEOs, sportsmen. So it's changed all of these words into your own words. Now you can rewrite this again yourself. So I copy this again, and then I paste it back in here, and you rewrite what the AI rewrote for you. So it really becomes your own rewritten script. So sometimes it actually goes backwards to what we had before. So it says, have you ever wondered how they've done that? So that sounds pretty good to me. Miracles, rock stars, fans. So that sounds pretty good. So that's actually a good script right here. And you can again go in here and you can rewrite it again into your own words manually as well. But I'm happy with this, so I'm going to keep the video based off of this script. So wide template. And I'll first type in the title. So the title is cool. That also looks pretty cool. And they're stacked over. That also looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to use maybe this one right here. So this is going to be the intro. And I can also change the color. So I'll change it to something like a lightish blue, something like that. So let's hit play and see what that looks like. Cool. So once you're happy with that, so that's the intro. Next, let's add some footage for the intro. So right here, where it says stock footage, I'm going to hit search. So if you're using a free one, you have to go in here and you have to hit download, and then you have to upload it into your video editor. So that is, a few extra steps that you have to take. But the advantage of this is that you can just hit search, and I can hit search up something like productivity or productive. And I can hit search. And I can just pick one of these footages right here. So maybe I'll pick this one. And I don't have to take the entire clip. So it's a 20-second clip. So I can maybe pick the first 15 seconds of it or something like that. And I can just hit add clip. So there it is in the background. So I'm happy with that. And let's say I only want the intro to be about 5 seconds. So I'll just leave it at 5 seconds. So that looks good. And I'll hit stop. So next, let's go into, have you ever wondered how they've done that? So maybe I'll take that first line. So I'll copy this. And sometimes as I'm writing the script, I sometimes change the script right here as well. So maybe I'll say something like, have you ever wondered how this...
All right, I'm going to stop that for 1 second. I'm going to pull up another site. It's called Vecteezy. I guess this is a free one. But so I can share a little bit of my ideas. So one of the things, I want to create, right? This is my therapy night rants. You've heard crazy stories and whatnot, and people have come on here and told their stories. So let's say I go here and I type in drinking, or let's type drunk. Let's type in drunk. Bam. Okay, these are a bunch of cheesy ass ones. I was looking at some on my phone and they're way better. What's going on here? Okay, we got to go to videos. All right. So we go to videos. I'm going to type in drunk right? Now it's going to give you a bunch of these, there's a man right here, passed out on the floor, 3-4 hours passed out on the floor with the glass of whiskey next to him. Boom. There's a guy sleeping here in the ground. And the idea is to put the music around it. Have you ever woke up in a dark alley with your pants on backwards and you don't know where you're at, but shit like that, right? And creating a story around, what's this one? Man stumbling, right? Oh shoot. That's Shutterstock, but so that's the idea, the concept. And so let's go. Let's type in. What was that? I seen loneliness. My shit's kind of dark, whatever. I want to basically, in this channel, we do focus on substance abuse and addiction and, drinking responsibly, but then, the darker side of things and how to cope with shit. And so it's hard to even put into words. I can't wait to just really show and prove here, but, and then inspirational things, as well. But, and some documentary, type of things here. So if we click on here, it gives you this, but really, audio, right? Working on my narrating and giving it a nice feel, whatever the topic that I'm trying to bring across, whether I could talk about my, drug experiences or shrooms, or Brother Ray was saying, the ayahuasca trip. I wonder if they have some shit like that. Let's type in, let's go to videos. Let's type in, shit. Like hallucination. I don't know if hallucinating. So I was talking about my, DMT experience, which I already have, but then I could do it in a more entertaining way, right? So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Let's try this one. All right. That's a different sort of thing. He's actually talking about a specific product that does these things here, but let's see. Yeah, I didn't do much research. I'm trying to find motherfucking. I want to see the video with the stock footage. I know I watch channels with the shit on there, but there's a bunch of how to, but um, let's see this guy. We'll try this one. So we gonna focus on I need to pay for the damn pre. Um, yeah, I want to do a bunch of different videos. I want to do like some documentaries, some you know, personal testimonies, people's stories, drinking, trauma, and kind of, you know, flip it with, an inspirational note at the end and different things like that. These guys are into winter harvesting. It's cool.
On your mobile phone compared to not getting the shot on a red camera with 80 grams worth of cut lenses on there, well, surely that's better shot to get in it. I will show some of the footage now of how I shoot. Sometimes I look very weird because in essence I'm kind of crouched down like this. I always used to take the mickey out of a guy that I work with. He used to always film like this, and he'd be looking down at the screen and the camera's looking this way, but he's kind of not really paying attention. And one of the reasons that you might look weird is what I'm trying to do, and I'm hoping that my behind the scenes footage show this, is I'm trying to be as stable as possible. Generally that's securing your body in some kind of shape or form. That might be kneeling down, that might be standing in a way that enables you to lean against a wall or something like this. And then if you can, try and support your arms in another way as well. But if you can't support your arms, you can't lean on something, tuck them in, because then you're securing this bit. Your hands will stay steadier if you're tucked in like this. So that's why sometimes I'll be like this, or you'll see me bent over because my hands are tucked in and I'm leaning like this. I'm not doing it, I'm like this, you can't see. I can't do it in the caravan, but you see hopefully in the examples. If I lean over and you're just slowly rocking basically from one side to the other, try not to step, because as soon as you step, you'll move. And then in doing that, you create this really nice smooth shot. Another thing I recommend is to shoot in slow motion. Warp stabilize. Yes, you generally have to pretty much have got it bang on when you first do it. If you're kind of all over the place, then it's not going to fix that. But if you're just ever so slightly like jerky and ever so slightly joggy, it should fix that. Then color correction. Big tip would be don't go too crazy with the grade. Yes, you want to correct it. You want to make it look.
One of my all-time favorite ways to practice my video editing skills is to film something boring and then try to figure out how to make it look not boring. I like to approach it like it's a bit of a challenge. How do you take something that looks ordinary and make it visually interesting? What could you possibly add or tweak to make it look different? But the key here is that you don't want to hold back. Practice on something that you're not going to be sending to a client, because this is your opportunity to get a little bit crazy, think outside the box, and don't worry about messing up the shot. Now, I filmed a short clip of Sarah and Cheese Bear, that's Cheese Bear, on my iPhone 13 mini, and I used the cinematic video mode on the built-in camera app at 24 frames per second. And as you could probably tell, there's not a ton going on here. There's no fancy camera moves, nothing crazy or unexpected. You might be wondering, why is the computer screen green? And in all honesty, I just didn't really know what to put on the screen at the time, so I just thought we'd worry about it later. The first thing I'm noticing about the shot is that it's a little bit shakier than I'd like, so I'll quickly add some stabilization to smooth things out, and I think this looks. How does this help us for our video? Well, something I like to do is identify unique characteristics of any video footage and then really lean into that, exaggerate that theme. And you know what would really make this video look even more like fall are some leaves actually falling and fluttering in the background outside the window. Now, fortunately for us, our sponsor Storyblocks has a ton of these falling leaves shots to choose from. I actually like this one here where the leaves are a bit smaller, so I'll go ahead and download that. And now the task at hand is, how do we take the stock footage of the leaves falling and get that outside the window looking somewhat realistic? First thing I'm gonna do is duplicate our original shot and move it over here. I'm gonna go into our effects panel and grab the Luma Keyer effect and then drag that onto our clip. Now, in very simple terms, what a Luma Keyer does is it can remove certain parts of a shot based on their luminance. So for example, you can choose to remove or key out the darkest parts of a shot in the shadows, or you can slide it from the other direction to key out the brightest parts of the shot, aka the highlights. Now in our case, we are definitely going to want to key out the highlights because all of the brightest information in the shot is coming through that window. So I'm going to adjust the slider here very carefully, slowly removing the highlights, and we can make some adjustments until we get something that looks decent. We definitely don't want to overdo it, and I think for our purposes today, this will work just fine. I'm going to right click on our clip here and make it a new compound clip, titling it Window Key. Next, we can grab our stock footage here of our leaves falling and drag it underneath our window key, and you can see now it only shows up through that keyed portion of the shot. I'll use the transforms to adjust the size here just to make our original clip. Now, blend modes are kind of complicated and difficult. Something to put on that screen. Now, seeing as Sarah is petting Cheese Bear, maybe she's watching a video about dog training. So Storyblocks actually has plenty of that as well. Now, if you don't have a Storyblocks subscription already, I highly recommend you check it out. I'll actually be adding this shot to the Storyblocks library if you'd like to take a crack at editing it for yourself. All you have to do is go to storyblocks.com/Daniel Schiffer, and whether it's stock footage, overlays, title templates, video transitions, and much more, they have got you covered. All of the assets on Storyblocks are high quality and royalty free, so you can use them in whatever projects you like, including YouTube content like this, or if you're making a video for a client, you can use it for that as well. So make sure you go to the link in the description below to check out Storyblocks, or go to storyblocks.com/Daniel Schiffer to learn more. Now, adding our dog training video to the keyed computer screen is as easy as dragging it underneath and adjusting the size, and we'll just add a few keyframes on our position throughout the clip to make sure it follows the movement. Now, since the computer screen isn't really the primary focus of the shot, we can add some Gaussian blur, and then I'll go ahead and highlight everything, making it a new compound clip, and I'm going to rename this base clip. And that is all of the difficult stuff pretty much out of the way. From here on out, it's gonna be a lot easier. I definitely wanna give this more of a stylized look, so I'm gonna add a color grade using my basic LUT from my Vintage Look 2 LUT pack. This will make all those fall, and this will really tie everything together. And then as for our film grain, I'm going to turn that down to 25% and set the blend that we had in the beginning. Of course, there is nothing all that captivating about this shot. And here is our edited shot, which, as you can hopefully tell, looks a lot more stylized and interesting. It even has this sort of whimsical and magical feel to it. To me, the original
Follow on Instagram at Harry_2Scary. So I don't know. That's somewhat, if you didn't already know. I mean, this is where I think I'm gonna take the channel. At least we're gonna try it out. I gotta try stuff, man. I'm not gonna give up with this path. I love doing this, but I've ran into like a personal wall. You know, it's just I'm a sucker for change. That's kind of, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. But in this case, it's going to be a good thing, and I just got to challenge myself. And I want to have a platform that people really engage with, more so than they already do, or the lack thereof. So that's one idea, one project, and hey, if that doesn't work out, or if I'll probably get burnt out on that after a little bit. But everything's a stepping stone to something else, and forced me to get back into writing and becoming a little more research based and really thought out. And doing this 113 weeks, man, it's like I don't always want to be dependent to be someplace physically every week, So with work schedule, my son's sports. It can be a little rough. So we'll get back in the lab. We'll make videos when I can. We'll put them out. It's still gonna be Thursday though. Whatever, Thursdays, and we'll do different days. But these are just thoughts, people. These are just thoughts. Okay. There's two recent uploads in the channel. I posted a couple of my songs. Went over to Reno in the industry. I got Weed Tipping coming next. I might upload that tomorrow. So, from top to bottom to top, when you go and the website is coming eventually here, and different things, man. But when you look at this channel specifically, it's myself, man. You see the very bottom. I mean, I think the first show or two. I remember the first show. Me and Ray were talking, but it doesn't come through until like 50 minutes in. We figured it out. Like, we can hear ourselves, but they can't hear or see, and then it's a whole process. And I think one of my reasons for doing this, not only helps myself because I lack in a lot of areas, and this helps keep me somewhat on track. I think it can help other people as well, down the road. And so we're all struggling with stuff, man. But everybody wants to do something, and I want to do a lot of things, and I've given up on a lot of shit, man, in my life. And if I can make videos to reflect that, what the hell? But yeah, I'm gonna do some things, man. Some really what I think is gonna be interesting. And hey, it might be tougher than I thought, and this and that, but it's a road I'm willing to travel down. I'm still gonna continue, at least for the next probably few weeks, to do TNRs. I don't know if we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing them to like 156. Because I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm getting kind of burnt out from just this particular thing, and I need more, growth. I need more, feedback. I need to feel like I'm putting in work behind the scenes, and it's rewarding when you upload a video, and whether it gets 5 views or 55 or 500, it's rewarding, and it's there for eternity. So that is what the show is about tonight. Okay. I'm pulling through. Brother Ray, he called me earlier and he was like, "What's the topic tonight, brother?" I said, "Man, I don't even want to fucking do a show tonight, man." And see, that's when it becomes a problem. That's you got to switch gears. So somewhat of a channel update. And I was going to talk a little bit about March Madness, the tournament, but I haven't done enough, watching of the basketball and stuff this year. I know Kentucky just lost to Oakland. What the hell? That was an upset. Yeah, fuck Kentucky. The only blue I like is that UNC blue, baby, Tar Heels. I kind of feel like Michigan State could pull off the upset, but I don't think that they are. But yeah. And so by making the shift from just the lives, it's going to allow me to be a little more informative as well with everything that's going on. So, and then of course, we're still going to have people on here and there. A few interviews. I have an interview that I did. I've been slacking on that, editing it, but we're getting everything working out. And I really want to share people's I call them testimonies or whatever. I've I've recorded a couple people that have talked about their story. Reno Rob's coming up next. And another gentleman named Kevin, Reno Kevin. He lives in a halfway house currently. Did some time in prison, drugs, robbery and all that stuff. And he changed himself around. And that's about probably be like an 18-minute, segment, but hopefully it comes together and, the viewers see through what I see through. And Harry's drinking again and appreciate it. So what else can we do? What else can we do here? Like I said, it's not going to be a long show at all. We're just staying consistent, baby. Staying consistent. See if there's anything. YouTube video. All right, we're gonna give one more guy a chance. We'll see. But yeah, I don't have anything else. It's everything that's going on is like I'm internalizing, and I want to focus on that. But I just wanted to be consistent and still come through, let everybody know, or the few people know what's on my mind, because this is Therapy Night Rant. So I still had to get some shit off my chest. God damn it. Let's see. And prove to myself that even when I don't want to do something, I could, you still got to do it, bro. So let's see. How to create a killer YouTube video. Let's see. We'll give this a shot.
Out because the fastest growing creators in the world know how to blow up their channel with just 3 or 4 killer videos. Good news for us, it's actually quite simple, and it doesn't require any fancy equipment or film school experience, because the process great creators use to design and create killer YouTube videos follows a couple steps, and this video will walk you through all of them. Practice this regimen daily for 3 months and your YouTube channel and your life might change dramatically. If you're new to the channel, welcome, because you're home, and to be honest, we need you. Subscribers to this channel are YouTube creators making the world a better place with their videos, and the world needs your positive influence as a creator. Before you ever touch a camera, you need to plan your video and figure out why people will click on your video in the first place, because nothing feels worse than if you film, edit, you make the highest quality video in the world, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's beautiful, it's literally perfect, except no one wants to click it. This likely means your video was an uninteresting idea. Ooh, that sounded way harsher than I expected. For example, here's one of YouTube's featured rising creators. Take a look at these videos they've done, and which one has way more potential to get over 1 million views and to blow this channel up? Is it the one about dog park friendly rules in Yosemite, or is it the one about how they moved full-time into an Airstream? One of these applies to like maybe 1,000.
Now, I just want to say also, look, if a video gets 1 million views, great. I have no I'm not trying to be this big fucking YouTube star. I just truly want to make content for the love of it, and because I got something to prove to myself, and I'll be happy with the damn 10,000 shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some of these guys, I still believe that they might be bought and paid for. He's not. 62,000 subscribers, but some of these guys, they're just in the YouTube algorithm, regardless. So, and they could be puppets for YouTube, but
people in the world, while the other one appeals to a much bigger audience. Or what about this yoga channel? Which video has more potential to get over 1 million views? Is it ankle mobility exercises, or is it going to be yoga for men? One applies to a much smaller audience than the other. Or let's look like a filmmaker channel. Same question. Which video has way more potential to blow this channel up and get it thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of new subscribers? Before you ever even think about touching a camera or an editing software, do you see how important it is to have a killer idea in the first place? But we usually skip the part about coming up with a great idea and just go straight to filming and editing, right? Don't be afraid to spend days or even weeks coming up with killer video ideas, because literally anyone with a killer video idea and the skills to execute it will blow up.
I'll just say right now, one of my ideas, like I said, is it's going to be basically a redemption. How you can fall off the wagon, do something bad, hurt your loved ones, hurt people around you, drugs, alcohol, things of that nature, and still come through to the other side. That's my kind of a niche that I'm gonna first delve into.
For years when I've worked with YouTube
Soft white underbelly, but with the twist.
channels, they always are so concerned about, oh, how do I publish every week or even every day? What most of them never realized until we worked together is that one killer video will outperform 10 average ones. You can get way better results with way less effort. And just a month ago, Mr. Beast literally confirmed the exact same thing with Joe Rogan.
The difference between a video with 1 million views and 30 million views. The video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. Like, they might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so the idea is so freaking important. Like, you could, theoretically, most YouTubers watching this, you could pull triple the views with half the work if you just had better ideas. Like, no joke, it's that extreme. And so once you realize how important an idea is, you just obsess over, well, how do I get more ideas? How to get better ideas?
For me, I sketch out ideas on an app I made called PlannerVid. That way I can take a step back and ask, are these killer video ideas, does this feel like a 100K subscriber channel? Listen to that intuition and feel it. Compare your channel to other successful channels in your niche and note the differences. If you're like me when I started YouTube, you probably had an idea in your head, got your camera, filmed it, edited it, uploaded it to YouTube, and then you realized, oh yeah, I guess I need a title and a thumbnail. So you scrape something together pretty fast and slap it on YouTube because after all, you made a great video. So the title and thumbnail, they're not actually as important as the actual video, right? Failure. That's a self-centered way of creating YouTube content. You're thinking like you, not like your audience. Look, your viewers don't see the great video behind the click. All they see is a title and thumbnail. That's all they have to go off.
Hey, shout out to Marissa on Podbean. I'm here for the change. Been watching you for a couple of months. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate it. See, that's motivation. Thank you. That's dope. Check, and for those who don't know, check out Podbean. It's its own built-in little community, but I fucks with that. I get sometimes comments like that. I appreciate you. Thank you. But check me out on YouTube though. If you're already a subscriber, that'd be
Off of. If they are intrigued, no one will click and your video will get like 12 views, all from you smashing the refresh button. Speaking of smashing buttons, now would be a good time to, well, you know the rest. Whereas most of us creators will create our title and thumbnail the very last part, the best creators in the world do it very first. Look, Mr. Beast and Mark Rober start with a title and thumbnail. They know that if they can make a killer TNT they know their audience will want to click on, that guides their filming, editing, everything. Start with the title and thumbnail instead of doing a last. So what makes a great title? Here are some common titles we often see YouTubers make. Life update, how to succeed in life. If you make a life update video, that only applies to a maximum the number of current followers you have. So if you've only got 800 subs, that life update video is only going to potentially be interesting to a maximum 800 people. For a killer video that can blow up your channel, we want a video that can interest and intrigue up to 8 million people. All right, so let's tweak this title just a little, or a lot. Junior software engineer and YouTuber, a typical day in my life. Do you feel the difference here? Do you see how this can appeal to like at least 1 million people now? Sure, maybe it's still a life update in a lot of ways and stuff, but change that title and you can appeal to so many more people. Now this video on the other hand is way too general and broad and unspecific and it doesn't intrigue me at all. Let's change it up. What to do when you fall short of your goal, motivational. Do you feel the difference in that video? These aren't just titles anymore, these are killer titles with the potential to blow up a channel. Now time for the other half, thumbnails. Because you're not creating just a title and you're not designing just a JPEG image. You're creating one whole title and thumbnail designed to create interest and intrigue for the viewer to want to click. I like to sketch thumbnails on a paper or an iPad alongside the title. That way when it's time to pick up a camera or Photoshop, I already know exactly what I want to create. And I'm constantly keeping that holistic view of the video rather than just its individual parts. So take a look at these average thumbnails and then compare them with these super successful thumbnails. What's the big difference? How come people are clicking these thumbnails instead of these ones? It's not image quality or aesthetic. My guess would be to take a look at the title and the thumbnail as a whole. These two thumbnails are just restating what's already in the title. There's no like additional interest or intrigue to want to click. These two thumbnails on the other hand complement the titles. There's a simple title that interests me and the thumbnail creates intrigue. Yeah, I'm interested in $1 million and I'm intrigued because did Noah just go up to random doors and ask? I'm interested in learning how to survive falling from a plane and I'm intrigued because I thought the answer was to keep your legs straight.
Keep your legs straight when you hit the water. I'll keep my legs straight, Spot.
But by stating what I should not do, the thumbnail is implying that it does know the answer, so now I'm double intrigued. I'm gonna click on both of these videos because I'm interested and intrigued. Here, unfortunately, I'm not interested in the confusing title, nor am I intrigued by the thumbnail that I can't really tell what's going on. And this video I'm interested in because I never thought JPEG was horrible, and now I'm super intrigued because, oh my gosh, is that the image quality difference? I have to click and learn what I've been doing wrong all these years. Interested, intrigued. When planning my title and thumbnail, one exercise I like to do is I like to close my eyes. And for several minutes, I'll keep my eyes closed while envisioning myself going to click on a video to watch it. What's making that video feel so intriguing to me that I'm going to click and watch it? What is the title and thumbnail of that video I'm seeing? And when the title comes to me, I type it out and draw out the thumbnail I see. And that works about 50% of the time. If when I type out the title, it just doesn't look right or doesn't feel right to me, then I just go through the same process again. Once you're like 90% sure that your idea and your title and thumbnail are killer, then you can get on to actually making the video.
all right. We're gonna flip this up all the way because this is what I really want to fucking delve into. I just typed in drugs and alcohol testimony, right? And this looks cool. I don't know, from alcoholic and drug addict to following Jesus Christ. I don't know if they use stock footage, but I mean, millions of views, right? from whatever it is, drugs, alcohol. There's crystal meth testimonies we've talked about that in this channel before. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been seeing those figures for some time now. Anyway, yeah, I like this style right here. Like real stories, real people, and because I battle with this shit myself, right? I'm not gonna get into that tonight, but I talked about it. Just had my relapse a couple months ago, and it's a motherfucker. Okay, I crave fucking all sorts of shit every day, and sometimes I fall victim to them. But to hear, like, to know that there's a community out there and people that suffer in silence. I guess maybe I'm one of the bolder ones as a host or as a face to openly admit my fucking drug use from time to time, and it sucks. It really does. And yeah, and but there's like a piece from talking about it. I don't know, for me, and getting the stories out there. It's not about bragging or anything. To me, it's a way to try to cope and maybe connect with other people who share the same suffering or the same addictions, you know. But imagine if he was using stock footage, some good footage, pictures of spirits and shadows by a door and shit like that. That's the type of like cinematic feel that I want to provide with this next phase of the channel. I mean, I'm not going to play this whole guy's story, but you know, and I'm trying to see if there's anybody else doing this, with the idea that I kind of have, and I don't know, I'm not seeing a lot. I've just seen a bunch of regular, kind of in a chair sort of style. So I might be onto something. Still therapy night rants, baby. I want to be so candid, but I'm not right now. We've been down that route. I recorded the thing I recorded earlier today was kind of like a personal testimony that I won't even put out for some time because I need to heal from it somewhat. And, I need to space myself away from the truth that I recorded today. Yes. But eventually I'll put that out there. It's embarrassing. It's shameful and all this shit. But I mean, that's what it is, Um, what's meth really like? Crystal meth psychosis, shadow people, 1.3 million views. Now I'm not just about that, but that's what we're going to start with because that's, this shit hits closest to home to me. And then we're gonna get into some fun things and go from there. But that's my baseline, I guess. And then basically everybody, America loves a story of an underdog or redemption, and America likes straight fuck ups too. Somewhat, they like to laugh at them. Okay, this looks like they might have some nice footage here. Let's check this one out. Then I'm gonna get out of here. So I got ants in my pants. Ants in the pants, and I want to dance. I said I got ants in my pants, and I want to dance. All right, look at this one right here. Right, let's see. My name is Dakota James Harris, and I am a drug addict and an alcoholic. And porn addiction, sex addiction. All the above. There's different levels to everybody's addiction, but if you're addicted, you're fucking addicted. And I've been a fucking addict my entire life. Thank you to Big Pharma, put me on that shit. But we're gonna get, whatever. But I'm gonna beat it eventually. Yeah, I love the feeling already of this video right here. This is probably the best shit I played out. This would encapsulates kind of the vision I had right here. Just real stories, real people, and putting that cinematic feel behind it. So it makes you emotional, makes you want to do something, makes you want to change. Harry's drinking again. See that? Sorry, keep interrupting, but shit. Go check out whatever the relapse episode. I mean, the first year I did it's on the channel now, the Crystal Methena interview, me and Ray. And whether you're vocal about your usage or not, or whatever the fuck you do, we all suffer in silence, But yeah, getting it out there is, I guess, who knows. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, man. I'm probably gonna get fucking banned and shit for playing this shit. Let me put on the playback speed. You gotta switch it up for these motherfuckers. It's an hour and 30 something in the video, but right there, boom. You had the stock fitted, you know what I'm saying? That's the shit right there. And there's a market, huh? There's a market for this. Let's go. This is getting too real. I don't know. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, lady. Okay. I know about this stuff, you know. I mean, I've been asking for help fucking years. Went to fucking SA fucking class over the fucking shit for this. Anyway. Who knows? But there you see, yeah. But it's gonna be in my own form, and you can only talk so much, but when you create something and you know the visual people, visual arts, that's where the I think it'll be more powerful. I probably look more like a fucking fool or a buffoon to some people talking about this shit. One of my homies hit me up, fool, why the fuck you telling everybody fucking you're on YouTube talking about you fucking do mad? I said, fuck you, man. Fuck them. Fuck everybody. I don't give a goddamn, bro. It's my shit. Like, that's not my shit, but that's my fucking, you know, that's one of my things, bro. Is, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm not a tweaker per se. It's like the addiction, like I said, comes in many forms. 2.5 years clean, bomb, hit again, you know, turn it down here, boom, 4 years. You know, it's like, but it's like always going back to that thing, right? And that's my truth. So to me, that's one form of like coping with it. You just gotta find other factors, mechanisms. Maybe you need Jesus. I don't know. Seems like every recovering addict, they you know, claim to be saved by Jesus. I don't know. Maybe that's my fucking problem. That's my like last stepping stone. Submit, you know, to the will of the Lord, you know. But we're working on it. We're getting there, man. Overall, I do got my bearings on straight. Always have. But there's, and like with the drinking and stuff like that, or like weed and shit, like I gotta have that shit daily. Like if I could ever quit weed, and I love the weed, but I don't like having so many crutches in my life. I got so many crutches that I should just have a handicap sticker in my fucking vehicle. You know? And that's not okay. That's not good. So that's what I don't like, man. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this and then we get the fuck out of here. After my pants and I want to dance.
Psychiatric disorders, people with psychiatric disorders are more likely to develop an addiction, and also how you were raised. If you had a traumatic experience, as we've talked about, that puts you at risk. If you have parents who have explicitly or implicitly condoned substance use, either for recreation or as a coping strategy, that puts you at risk. Things like poverty, unemployment, that puts you at risk. So there are lots and lots of risk factors. But I think that the major risk factor in the modern world, and one which is generally ignored, is simple access. If you have access to a drug, you are more likely to try it and more likely to get addicted to it. And now, as we've talked about, we live in a world of virtually infinite access.
Yeah, you say there's a quote in the book, something along the lines of whatever, there is something that will addict you and it's coming to a website near you.
Right. I'm gonna watch
Too
it.
many meetings, missing the key action items. It's time to put your meeting.
I stopped. That was it. That was October 12th, 2007. It's a blackjack, rehab, tons of rehabs, recovery.
Wait till you hit your bottom. And I was like, I kind of want to wait till I hit that bottom. And in that moment of sobriety and clarity, I was like, I'll get the help now.
What is it about the human condition that everyone seems to need a coping mechanism? I mean, why can't we all just will our way out of negative compulsive behaviors? Well, it turns out that my next guest, Dr. Judd Brewer, has answered those very questions. Judd is a psychiatrist, he's a neuroscientist, a thought leader, and scientific researcher in the field of habit change and the science of self-mastery. He is the director of research at the Center for Mindfulness and an associate professor in medicine and psychiatry at UMass Medical School. As you just heard, on some level, we're all kind of craven animals subject to compulsions that don't always serve us, whether it's substance abuse, social media, binge eating, or other behaviors that lead us astray that we find ourselves repeating uncontrollably. And in this clip, Judd shares more than a few valuable insights into the nature of cravings, including the mechanisms and neurology behind them, as well as certain keys, including mindfulness, for addressing and ultimately overcoming them. I got a ton out of this conversation, and I think you will as well. So here we go. This is me and Dr. Judd Brewer.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever pulled up to a stoplight late at night and you look around and everybody's crotch is glowing. It's like suddenly 30 seconds at a red light is intolerable.
Right.
Well, we only got there because we've let ourselves get there. And we can say, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a good boy and willpower my way through this. Forget about it. Like you said, that doesn't work.
So let's get into why it doesn't. Like, why is it that I can't override that impulse and through sheer force of will, like marshal my mental and emotional powers to prevent myself from doing that thing that I am so lured to?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? We're these rational thinking beings. I think Descartes really sent us down a path that was not so good. Oh, I'm thinking, therefore I can think my way through stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not how our brains work. Yeah. There's a part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, that's involved in willpower. It's the weakest part of the brain from an evolutionary perspective. It's the first that goes off.
I was just telling my girl recently, like very recently, I apologize. I was like, baby, I'm sorry. And fuck, and I said, I know you don't want to hear the sorry because it's like my 1,001 sorry. And but I really am, like, and I say I'm not going to do something and I go do it, or I don't come home. Fuck. And I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry because I just did it and I'm going to do it again. So yeah. Oh, I want to, that's the key. That's the key, I guess these guys got it down fucking pat, they're fucking, well, who knows? Rich roll fucking loses riches and he'll be on a fucking roll motherfucking next day, shit.
Offline when we're stressed, when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're tired. That's why we wander into the kitchen late at night looking for something because we've learned that. And so we can say, don't do that, but then we just crash harder, and in the morning we set that resolve to like, okay, I'm really going to do it this time. But that's just not how our brains work. Our brains don't work that way. But we think, I think it's more we're rationalizing, we're like, oh, willpower, it must be something. Let's study it. And there's been a little bit of this and that, but it turns out that willpower, if you look at the people, that quote unquote have good willpower habits, there's some really interesting pieces there. One is they actually find things that they enjoy doing. So people do something like eat healthy or exercise. If you ask them why they do it, the people that are really good at doing it, and you probably know this personally, it feels good as compared to, oh, I need to get in shape to get my body looking this way for the beach.
It's not like an intellectual exercise.
Not at all. And that part makes sense, but that's not willpower. And it makes sense because that is reward-based learning. We're doing something out of the reward of doing it, not because we're doing it. So that's one of the big misconceptions around willpower is that if you look at reward-based learning, it's based on the reward. It's not based on the behavior itself. So if it were the behavior, we just say, stop doing this. But it's actually the reward that drives future behavior. And that's where we can start to intervene.
How does it correlate with intelligence? Because just speaking from personal experience, I've noticed over the years through my adventures and journeys in the recovery community that people who are hyper intelligent often struggle the most because they want to intellectualize this, where truly it is an emotional thing more than anything else. And so they struggle trying to wrap their heads around how to do this. And they can't let go of the idea that solution resides within the mind.
Yeah. Well, so hi, my name is Judd and I'm a thinking addict.
There you go.
If you look at the bookshelves in my house, they are way too numerous. So speaking from personal experience, and I think this applies, is there's this, it's almost like the thinking part of our brain is kind of like this, it's like refined sugar or refined carbohydrates. It actually just gets us stoked. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
All right. Anyway, bam, bucket. That was that was cool. That was cool. I'm gonna watch that in my own time and shit. We got over here Dom Solik. What's better option? Smoke a joint and be high, or drink bottle of Jack Daniels, be drunk with next day? Oh, of course. I mean the weed, Is that referring to me wanting to quit weed? So I'm assume so. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm a fucking complete pothead, but it's the dependency, man. Like alcohol is like I'm not an alcoholic like that. Like I don't even amphetamines or cocaine, you know, I just dabble in shit, man. I just dabble in the shit. I could break away easy. Well, somewhat easy. I've never been to rehab or none of that, you know. And I've never like, you know, done anything crazy, right? But it's the constant going back. Like it doesn't matter if I'm sober for 2 years or 3 months but it's like why can't you go another year, another day? Like it's just my thought process that I want to figure out. And I love marijuana so much, man. I've been smoking it since I was 11 years old. It's like I would just like to be if I could, you know, put down the weed, I feel like I could master anything. So yeah, it's like quitting something you enjoy, and it's not that harmful for you, right? But it still is. It's a crutch like a motherfucker. See, I'm getting nervous. Got to bounce my ball. Made this little rubber band ball. Yeah. Nah, man. You know, but of course the weed. Thank you for tapping in, though, Dom Solak. Put that on the screen there. Bam. Got a fucking weed plant tattooed on my arm. Stupid. I want to get that tattoo removed. I've been saying that for years now. Just because I fucking it's cool, whatever, you know. But I feel like it's a curse. Like when you get ink on your body, like that shit's with you, and you know it could harbor. I got desert sickness, demonic eyes on my shit, and you know it's just the evil tattoo. So it's like you're representing evil, not evil like weed's evil, but you know the just the whole thing, you know. But I can't wait to get off stream and take a hit of my pre-roll that I have 4 feet away. So yeah, powerful stuff though. Stay locked in though. Harris, drink it again, man. Spotify, Apple, if you want the audio format. Constantly thinking and how to do things different, get better, and you know, challenge myself, and then just an overall highlighting of the life, other people's lives, and we're all in this together. Goddamn it, you know what I mean? Even though we're divided as fuck in this country for sure. While we're talking about it, I need to take my own advice. Now, 1-800-662-HELP is a national drug addiction hotline. If you are struggling, you know, really struggling. I had to call this number one time, man. It was a fucking massive come down, you know, it's like freaking out. And which has happened more than once, but this was like that. This was the last, you know, freaked out, man. I was gonna off myself, man. I poured up a glass of milk, you know, called the number. They talked some sense into me, and you know, it was cool, man. But we have these sort of resources, and it ain't a joke because the pain is fucking real. We could laugh at it all we want, and I make light of it, but it fucking sucks. And you feel like a piece of shit because you are, but you're not, but you are. And not to say that people that don't do drugs are any better. I mean, they got their problems too, and it's not just drugs. Like this could be anything, lying or fucking, you know, drinking. My mom's addicted to Diet Pepsi. She has been all her life. Diet fucking Pepsi. The woman drinks, well, she's getting better now that she's aging, but like, the woman drinks Diet Pepsi like an alcoholic. Like if she don't have her Pepsi, she, you know. So, yeah, interesting stuff. But that's what, you know, that's what it is. That's what we do over here. I feel better. I'm glad I went live. See, after not wanting to. This is probably like, you know, out of the 113 shows, like a good 13 times, you're just like, fuck. But let's do it, you know, go through with it. And made something out of nothing. I always feel better when I end the show, because at the very least, I got all my skeletons out the fucking closet, you know, in some fashion. And not that they need to be out of the closet, but just life to me is about like walking through life lighter. You know, we carry such a heavy burden in a lot of us, different things, right? And a lot of things aren't meant to be. No, I don't want to sit on here and make it seem like I'm some fucking irresponsible parent and fucking my home life is a wreck. No. We're like pretty good. I'm very disciplined in a lot of aspects. I don't compared to like how I grew up, me and my woman talk to each other pretty calmly, you know, get a little, you know, she's a Latina, so she you know, gets a little crazy sometimes, raise her voice, hey, chill the fuck out. But overall, like, yeah, I don't, you know, want to make it seem none of that, but I have to also, you know, you got to put a little heat on shit, and then do it for the entertainment as well. So I've always been a focused father, but like most parents will say that, you know, and I'm starting to realize that as my little one gets older, it's like, fuck, I can do better though. Like I'm doing the best I can, but are we really? No, we think we are, but we're not. You know, we all want to, and then so it's a continual thing. Anyway, let's play some goddamn music, huh? What we got? Yes. This Sunday night, check out the show, WDJYFM.com or 99.1 FM if you're in the Atlanta or Dallas metro area, baby. Harris to Drink It Again Pubcast on the FM radio, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. And that's going on till September. Boom. So, trying to make moves and just get my dick wet. My feet wet in this lane. You know what I mean? What else? Upload coming tomorrow or Saturday. I'll try to do it tomorrow. Some cool shit, man. Shout out to the world. Shout out to the world. All right. Every Thursday. Boom. We'll see y'all next week, 8 p.m. for TNR 114. Baby, the big 1-4. Huh? So, I am Harry Too Scary, aka Mr. Harris. Huh? This has been my therapy night rant. Thank you for tuning in, listening, whoever the fuck you are out there. And it goes up. I appreciate it. Salute. Everybody have a safe weekend. And have a safe weekend. We out this bitch. Peace. Harry's drinking again.
Hey man, listening and watching Harris is Drinking Again. Sounds like a ghetto movie.
What's cracking, y'all? It's Lil Kelpie from the 1503, aka Kelpie the P, aka call me whatever you want, just don't call me broke. And I'm fucking with the Harris is Drinking Again podcast, one of the first podcasts or platforms to put me on. Y'all better stay following them, watching them. Stay tuned for more shit. Big things happening in the future.
Harry's drinking again. Yo. You have been listening to the Harris is Drinking Again pubcast. For more, go to YouTube, type in @HideaPubcast. Look us up on Spotify, any and all streaming platforms. Harris is Drinking Again pubcast. Thank you.